Bowling with the Pfaff.
Bowling with the Pfaff.
Are you ready?
Ready. Your bowling stories.
They found you.
They did.
Pfaff's all over.
Every week.
Bowling has picked back up again.
Live.
UW Whitewater.
There it is.
Why the fedora? Do I look good in it?
I think you look great in it.
I want to challenge Skylar Pence.
Mike Hatton.
I'm going to challenge Alec Keplinger.
Let's do this.
Roll 'em.
This is Bowling with the Pfaff.
Well, good Wednesday evening, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Bowling with the Pfaff, a platform for you to share your unique bowling story live on our YouTube channel on a Wednesday night. Looking forward to getting into this one. We've got the reigning Petersen champion ready to talk. He's in the green room, the studio, whatever you want to call it, and has got a great story for us tonight. And I can't wait to get into that. I do want to throw out a quick congratulations, though, to one of our previous guests. A lot of people know him as Coach Randy Brown, but he is Randy Brown out in the Kansas City area. He posted on Facebook earlier today that it has been exactly 9 years ago today, since he taped his first 2 episodes of videos that would eventually become the Prodigy Bowlers Tour. If you haven't heard of the Prodigy Bowlers Tour, you really should check it out. He made this YouTube channel, and he basically has matches of junior bowlers who bowl one-on-one, typically in a stepladder format, kind of like you'd see on a PBA telecast. He puts in the graphics, he puts in his own voiceover after the fact, edits it all together, and it really looks good. But he talked about these first couple of tapings, and he came on our show for episode 123. And when he did that, I had gotten a letter back from one of the competitors who won the first championship, the prize that he refers to as the coveted trophy pin. It was a long letter. You could tell it really meant a lot to him. And like I said, it's on episode 123. I've got some chapters in there. It says Bostic's letter. You should really check that out if you haven't. But either way, congratulations to Coach Randy Brown. Keep doing what you do, watching those pins fall and handing out those coveted trophy pins. It really is a pleasure to be along for the ride and to see your great work, because it really is something to see. Well, we now know the finalists for the PBA's Player of the Year and Rookie of the Year awards. The PBA announced 7 Player of the Year finalists on social media and on its website on Monday. Here they are. EJ Tackett, the headliner, the 2-time defending Player of the Year, has 4 titles this season, more than $438,000 in earnings, more than 34,600 points, and an average better than 228. All those figures led the tour. Other finalists include 2-time winners Andrew Anderson and Jesper Svensson, along with Jason Belmonte, Graham Fa, Ethan Fiore, and Chris Vide. The PBA members are the ones who vote on a winner. That player will be announced later on this month. When you talk about the Rookie of the Year side of things, Darren Ong is the lone finalist to win a title in 2025 at the PBA Viper Championship. He did defeat Tackett in that title match. Ryan Barnes set a rookie record with $113,502 in earnings. He was also the first rookie to qualify for the PBA playoffs in the last 6 seasons. Cam Crow and Hayden Stipich round out the 4 finalists. PBA members also vote on this winner, but that announcement is not expected until the week of December 9th. Well, 4 new members of the Twin Cities USBC Hall of Fame will be inducted into that elite group in about 4.5 weeks. Steve Bone and Amanda Vermiglia are inductees in the Superior Performance category, Mike Skinner in the Superior Performance Pioneer category, and Les Steiner will go in Meritorious Service. Bone won a USBC Eagle with doubles partner John Cryer Jr. at the 2010 USBC Open Championships in Reno. He also won the singles major at the Petersen in 2023. Vermiglia, who was formerly Amanda Burgoyne, won back-to-back national championships with Nebraska in 2004 and 2005, earning MVP honors in 2005. She went into that university's Athletics Hall of Fame in 2020, also made the finals in the U.S. Women's Open, both in 2007 and 2008. This ceremony is Sunday, October 26th at Brook Hall in Blaine, Minnesota. And the PWBA is returning to Eagan, Minnesota's Cedar Vale Lanes in less than 2 weeks. I will be there to check out all the action. The PWBA Twin Cities Regional is on Sunday, February 28th. Competition starts at 10 that morning. The competitors will 8 games of qualifying before they cut to a top 4 for a stepladder final. That's expected to start at 4 that afternoon. Now, the last time a regional event was held at Cedar Vale was in 2023. Brittany Smith, who's pictured here, led qualifying and defeated Tamara Stanton 196 to 183 to claim the championship. As of Friday, Smith's name did not appear on the roster for the event, but Summer Jasmine, who won the PWBA Regional in Rockford on Sunday, did. She also took third in the 2023 PWBA Twin Cities Regional event. PWBA held a national tour stop at Cedar Vale in 2024, which Shannon Pluhowski won. Don't forget, we do have merch, official merch from Bowling with the Fef on Etsy at etsy.com/shop/bowlingwiththefefco. T-shirts and hoodies with various colors, couple different designs for you. And can't forget to plug our sponsors. Jerry's Score More Bowling Supply inside Wagner's Lanes. It's in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. 715-559-1822 is the number. If you need coaching, if you need bowling balls, bowling accessories, he's got them. Visionary Video Hub, your complete video production for the Chippewa Valley, Wisconsin, and beyond, plus live streaming, podcasting, and voiceover. Find out more at visionaryvideohub.com. And Chip Magnet Salsa, where we have a great deal, as always, for Bowling with the Fef viewers. When you order a 6-pack from chipmagnetsalsa.com and enter the promo code BWTF2025, you get 25% off your order with no limit. And you can also get Chip Magnet on Amazon. Just search for the Chip Magnet store and stock up. Chip Magnet, raise your snack standards. A big thank you to all of our sponsors, especially the fine folks at Chip Magnet who are supporting bowling as well as Bowling with the Fef. Well, as I mentioned before, tonight's guest is now the reigning singles major champion at the Petersen Classic. In a tournament where anything goes, and anything usually does, Steve Brinkman of Sussex, Wisconsin worked through the distractions to shoot 1681 for 8 games. He found out earlier this month that it was officially official as number 1 in the singles major category there at the Petersen outside of Chicago. Now, his USBC Open Championships average of about 211.5 is number 15 all time among bowlers who have participated in at least 30 years worth of tournaments. Brinkman also has USBC Open Championship Eagles with the Blue Mound Bowl team, as well as Linz Limited, and has won multiple World Team Challenge events. Now, Steve is joining us tonight from Sussex, Wisconsin, for this episode, which we are calling PeteKing. Speaks for itself, doesn't it? Welcome to the show, Steve. It's an honor to have you on.
Thank you for having me on. It's great.
Yeah, really appreciate the time. Of course, I want to start right there with the Petersen. I've never shot the Petersen before. Of course, you hear all kinds of things. I always wonder what's urban legend and what isn't. But it sounds like a good time no matter what you are exposed to in that, especially when you come out of there with a number like you did. What's it like to win it all?
To be honest with you, I don't know if it has sunk in yet. I know it was made official, and numerous people have reached out to me and congratulated me on it. But I guess when I receive the check, then it'll be like, wow. And the idea of going down there next year and seeing my picture framed up on the wall where all the other previous champions were, I mean, it's just telling you the story. I'm getting goosebumps.
Well, that's awesome. And you know, thanks to your buddy Richard Geppel we get to relive it a little bit because he was crossing with you out there, and he gave me his blessing to use this little video of you in the 10th frame. Tell us what was going through your mind as you're throwing these 3 shots.
Well, I knew that John Shallow was plus 71. And after they kind of messed with me in game, I think it was game 7, I thought I needed the first, I thought I needed them all to beat John by a stick. So if this is my second shot, if this is he didn't get, I got that one a little bit light in the pocket. So he didn't believe me and he moved the phone over. And then on this last shot, as I'm still intense, kind of like going, strike here and I can take over the lead because I thought I can beat him by 1. And then as you'll see my reaction after I throw the ball, come on, brother. If I look down and I leave a pin, so I actually thought I tied him.
Ah, okay.
So I come off, and then Jerry Mars right there comes up to me and he says, "Hey, congratulations. I will post that we have a new leader off of the squad, but you can post whatever you want." And at that point I went, I'm in the lead. So, and then Geppel put the phone down and said, congratulations, and gave me a big hug for it. Because in game 7, as everybody knows about the Petersen, I mean, we can go through each game on, some things that happened. I left a 7 pin in, game 3. And I know they weren't doing it particularly for me because it's only game 3, but I'm up on the approach and all of the bumpers come up. The rails that for the bumpers, they come up and all of a sudden you kind of stop and you wait, it goes back down. There were other times that lanes would break down, or as it got a little bit later, after the first shift, you bowl 4 games and then you take like a 20-minute break.
Okay.
So during that time, we went, got some water and everything else or whatever. And then I just sat down and they announced my score that I was plus 36 after 4. And I just remember Dave Barris telling me that he was plus 34. And I was like, man, if I shoot 200s for the rest of the time, I can beat Dave Barris. I mean, he's got a name for himself.
Yes, he does.
So I'm on 15 and 16, and I didn't have very good carry on that. I know I'm saying that about the Petersen, which nobody has good carry, but I shoot like a 196 and I drop below and I'm like, oh, bummer, So we go to 1 and 2, and lane 1 is just hooks. Okay. And you have the wall there. So it's not like you can make a normal adjustment and move in or something like that. So at that point I pulled out my spare ball and I was just, most of the time I was just kind of rifling at the 3-pin and hopefully it would hook up a little bit. And just trying to get by. Chris Hoffman was a leader he was the first bowler on lane 2, and you watch his ball go down a lane, it skid, hooked, and then skid. And it ball reaction that you normally do not see.
Yeah.
So I tried to adjust off of that, and I didn't even know my score on lane 1, which I shot 238 on lane 1 and 2, which I heard is one of the higher scores on that pair. I didn't even think of it because I was just so focused on just throwing it. The lanes broke down once or twice during that game. And then we moved over a pair, and I started spare, 3-bagger, spare, and then another spare or something like that. And one of my spares, I left a 10-pin. I didn't see it because, the curtains come down and you can't see the pins.
Yeah.
But Dick Geppel told me that there was one guy in the back. I left a 10-pin. He was taking a pin and smacking it between the gutter and the sidewall right next to the 10-pin to try making noise. I didn't even know about it. It didn't even occur to me because I couldn't see the pin.
Sure.
Well, after about the sixth frame, the lane just shuts off.
Okay.
And then the other lane shut off. And the guy that was running it, nice, super nice guy, standing right next to me, and he goes, "Oh, let me see what's going on." So he walks back there as slow as you can. So we were probably waiting 8 to 10 minutes. He comes back up and he goes, "Yeah, there's a problem with this lane. We're going to have to move you to the infamous pairs 17 and 18. And if you've ever been in at the Petersen, they have lanes 1 through 8. Then they have 17 and 18. And then they have 9 through 16.
Okay.
So when you bowl, nobody bowls on 17 and 18. You bowl 1 through 8 and 9 through 16.
Okay.
Well, the 17 and 18 is the infamous pair where you can ask John Shallow. I'm sure he has nightmares about that. We get there, and Chris Hoffman, like I said, was first on the pair. I asked him, I go, "Do you mind going first?" And he said, "Sure, I will go. I will throw my normal shot and see what happens."
Mm-hmm.
Well, he threw it, and he was like kind of rifling it off the right corner at the pocket. He took out the 7-pin.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
So they're moving.
Yeah. I mean, some people I heard, different stories that, there was dust on the lane or they never oiled them or something. So I grabbed my spare ball and I lined up to throw it right at the 3-pin, and I threw it as hard as I could. And as soon as the spare ball got there, it started rolling forward, and I hit the crossover side, and I left like a 5-9 or something like that. Okay. So the rest of that game was just take your spare ball and throw it as hard as you can at the head pin, and hopefully you leave something you can make. Yeah. Because I knew I was 70 over going into that game. Okay. So I just spared out, and then now we go back to lanes 5 and 6 to do the last game. And I'm thinking, okay, I was kind of chuckling when they said, "Okay, are you going to the breakdown pair?" Kind of like, because I kind of expected if you go to the Petersen and think normal house bowling, stand, hit second arrow, and have it hook in, you're in for a surprise. Yeah. There were games under 100 on our squad. Okay. And I talked to a couple of them in between the break, and it was their first time bowling. Okay. So some people did experience that. Yeah. So we go to lanes 5 and 6, and Rick Hara, great bowler, was on lane 4 when I was getting up on lane 5. And I said, "Go ahead, Rick." Well, I think somebody in the back thought I was up and they wanted to distract me. So you have a hallway down lane 1. Okay. Well, in Rick's backswing, a pin goes flying down the hallway, rattling them up against the walls, making noise. Rick kind of turns around like, "What was that?" And I was just chuckling, and I'm like going, I'm glad I let him go first, not me. Yeah. But yeah, I got to lane 5 and 6, and I was throwing the ball so hard, and that lane had, okay, if you want to call it oil on it, but compared to the other lane, it had some oil on it. Mm-hmm. And I spare. I think I got a strike, and I spared, and I threw one on the right lane, and I'm like, okay, let's just take the lane out of play, throw it hard. And I hit the pocket and left a 5-7 split. I was like, oh boy, that's not good. Yeah. So I took one, and then I looked up at the score, and I had 122 and a spare up in the 8th frame. And I looked up, and remember, I thought I was still at 70 over. Yeah. I thought, well, if I strike out, I can beat Shallow by a pin. Mm-hmm. And for some reason, I think I had one strike all game. I struck in the 9th, and then you saw my 10th frame there. Yeah. I didn't know what to expect in the 10th frame, because the last time I was up there, I left a 5-7. Sure. So, and I didn't want to do that. So luckily, I made some good shots, and they fell for me. You can tell that second one. Well, you can't tell because
Now, I should let you know that he admitted, he said, I'm not the greatest cameraman, and that's okay. Not all. None of us are the greatest cameramen.
When he sent it to me, I think somebody commented on it and said, well, what happened to the pins? And he goes, I guess as a cameraman, I choked versus what Steve did. Dave Armstrong was sitting behind me, and he actually took a filming of the second strike.
Okay.
And it was a light swishing strike, kind of a bucket tumbler type of thing. They all fell down. Obviously, you could tell by my reaction. But part of the experience was on our squad, we had Kevin McCune.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody knows Kevin McCune.
Sure.
Tim Foy Jr.
Yeah.
One of the greatest lady bowlers ever, Liz Johnson. She was on the pair to the right of me. I've known Liz from back during Team USA trials, but it was kind of cool when I went up there and she just got done shooting like a 230 game or something like on 13 and 14. So I put my hand out and gave her 5, and then all of a sudden, like I'm getting, like my last 2 or 3 games, she was high-fiving me every time, and I was like, okay, hey, Liz Johnson is giving you a high five. You got to be doing something right.
Yep.
So I apologize to the people I crossed with, Matt Spanis, Rich Geppel, Dick Geppel, and Chris Hoffman, because they had to go through all of the stuff that I had to.
Oh, sure.
So when the lanes broke down, they had to wait. They had to go to the hooking pair. Matt didn't have a good game on that pair. Otherwise, he would have been a little bit higher up in the cashing list. But I told him I'd make it up for him, and we'll go out for a congratulatory dinner or something like that.
There you go. And in the end, it could have just as easily been one of them who had caught fire, and you having to deal with, the ridicules of that. And
our whole idea going into it, and we went last year, and the whole idea is just complete laughs.
Yeah.
Matt Spanis can brag that he is 100% on making the 3-6-8.
Wow.
Yeah, think about that. That's not a lead you see every day.
No.
But he left it and he made it.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. So it was interesting. We went down there. The Dick, Matt, myself carpooled down there just because of we're going to stop. We're going to get something to eat and we're going to have fun.
Yeah.
So the expectations weren't high at all. And then all of a sudden at the break, they announced and I'm like, oh, wow, I'm doing okay. But, a 140 game could be right around the corner.
Sure.
So,
yeah, you never know.
Yeah.
And, and when I guess exchanged messages with Richard, I asked him about what it was like, to be in that front row seat, right? He said, it was absolutely electric. He said, you were absolutely incredible under an enormous amount of pressure. The Petersen staff was in full defense mode from your second game on. He said, it is the toughest condition you will ever bowl on. And then you have the staff trying to distract you while you bowl. He said, we all knew in the 8th frame that you needed the next 3 to take over the lead, and you didn't disappoint. By the way you say it, he says, oh, he's under all this pressure. You kind of treated it like, we might do good, we might do bad, we're going to have a good time, and that's it.
And I think that really helped just because of you have to expect the unexpected when you bowl the Petersen.
Yeah.
But the hardest part is the unexpected is unknown. We were on 13 and 14 and the 3-pin kept on falling. I looked when we were on 15 and 16, it fell once for the people that were behind us. So I'm like, okay, they're picking on us.
Right.
My second I went 190, 221. So I was plus 11. And then I went 180. So I'm thinking, okay, well, why you why you picking on us? We ain't going anywhere, you know? And like the whole thing is just make your spares. It was just, like I said, you don't know what to expect. So a lot of it is I just tried to not think about it, or kind of like going, oh, what are they going to do next to me?
Sure.
So when they shut off the lane, I was like, okay, kind of expected it, you know, and I tried not to get upset. I just kind of chuckled about it. And when he said, oh yeah, your lane broke down, we'll have to go to 17 and 18. I just chuckled and I said, okay. And I went there. And then when I got done and I shot 210, like I said, I got up there. I didn't strike at all. I don't think on that lane, on that pair. I just had spares. And when Dick Geppel walked by the guy again, he goes, well, I guess that didn't work. So you could tell they were trying to do something, you know. Sure. And then we get in the last game, the lane breakdown here or there, or they play train noises and music got louder. Or they would come up and like some of the staff, there was a nice girl, she was working and she had the walkie-talkie and she was standing behind me. And every time she brought up the walkie-talkie to say something, the lane would re-rack, a pin would fall down, the lane would shut off, something. So I was teasing her. I'm like going, get that walkie-talkie out of your hands. And by like the sixth frame, by the sixth game, we were on 1 and 2. She came down and she didn't have the walkie-talkie. And I go, oh, what? You gave up, or what's going on with the walkie-talkie? They go, they took it out of my hands. Somebody else has it now. And I looked at the guy running it and the mechanic right next to him, and they both had walkie-talkies. So they did some messing around. I've heard stories. I've heard worse stories. I heard John Shallow had to go to 17 and 18 the last game for like 6 or 7 frames. Because if you look at John Shallow's score, he was like 100 over going into the last game.
Wow. So
they put him over there, and he unfortunately shot 161. That brought him down to plus 71. But I mean, wow.
Yeah.
That's some bowling there.
Sure. And these are things that are ultimately out of your control. And you're always, we're always told, control what you can control, and the rest don't worry about, because you drive yourself nuts, right? I mean,
I always tell everybody I only worry about what I can control. I mean, like, oh, we're having bad weather, a tornado's coming. Okay. Yeah. We're having 6 inches of snow. Okay. I try to stay calm about that stuff.
Yeah. Well, it certainly paid off in this. Jim Ward is in our live chat here. He's got a question. He says he's a senior bowler, 12 miles per hour. He wants to do a pin down layout on a symmetrical ball. What are some good choices on a ball to use? He has a Zen he was thinking about using. Boy, this is not the typical kind of question I get in the chat. Steve, do you have some expert advice on a symmetrical ball for a senior bowler that throws at 12 miles an hour?
I would probably go with something on the weaker end. I would probably go with an IQ Tour, or something in like the Hustle PBR.
Okay.
A Surge or something might be a little bit too skiddy for him. I personally used Tour Dynamics, which is a little bit on the weaker end, really rolly ball, especially if he wants to use it at the Petersen. You really don't want skid flip, because you don't know when it's going to skid or when it's going to flip.
Sure. So
a lot of people will take a urethane ball just because it's predictable. It depends on how hard you throw it. I saw Kevin McCune walking around with a really strong ball, but look how fast he throws the ball.
Yeah.
So it really depends on, you want to have something that you keep in play and it's very predictable.
Sure.
Even like a a rock star will be along the lines. Now I'm going to do obviously Storm, Roto Grip, or Global just because I'm on staff with them. But the IQ, Chris Hoffman was throwing that ball. So that won't flare a lot either, especially with it pinned down.
Yeah. And so you were saying you had a Tour Dynamics at the Petersen, Tour Dynamics and a plastic?
Yep.
Okay. Yeah.
Yep. Those are the two balls that I threw in on and I was fortunate, like I said, I bowled second in line. Chris Hoffman bowled first and I bowled second. So based on his ball, I mean, Chris is pretty consistent. So based on his ball reaction, whether I would go to the Tour Dynamics or to my spare ball, just for the sake of hit the head pin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't give up the head pin. Here's a name I'm sure you're familiar with. Harley says hi.
Hey. Hi, buddy.
Yeah. Good to see you in here, Harley. Says hi to both of us. Yeah. If you're like Harley and watching us live, feel free to utilize that live chat. We'll certainly take on any questions as they come in. All right. So let's kind of get into, a more generalized bowling thing. You apparently, and this is something that I didn't really know about you, you really have this reputation of, for dropping great one-liners. Matt Duty says, I don't know a ton about him. I just know he's the king of one-liners. And Will Welch said he's the king of dropping one-liners. One of my favorites is letting him know I have to book a dentist appointment because his strike was so sweet.
I would like to say, yes, those were mine. But if anybody knows Gus Yanneris,
well, yeah.
I would probably have to bow down to him for one-liners because I got a lot of them to him. One of his, if he missed like in a league or something like that, if he missed right, he would come back and he said, man, I threw that one out for hamburger and fries and it came back as a steak and baked potato. So yeah, Will was I always pulled that one on Will saying, man, I got to see my dentist. You threw that one so sweet. I got a cavity.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dad jokes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And growing up and learning them from Mike Strani, Hank Poznansky, Gus. I had some people that I could
these guys, right?
leech off of. There we are.
Yeah.
Look at that. I had bangs. If you call it bangs.
No, you mentioned Hank and Strani.
Yeah.
Of course, Greeny on the right. And in the middle there,
Dave Albrecht. Ox.
All right. And this is, I'm guessing, the Blue Mound Bowl team.
Blue Mound Bowl team, 1994 when we won team event.
Okay. There you go. So, yeah, this is you guys. I mean, we're talking prime time 1994.
Yeah, I have to, just some history. I have to give a lot to Bob Greenfield. I actually was working with him.
Okay.
And I knew him through Echo Bowl and stuff like that. And he knew I bowled, and he asked me to be on the Blue Mound Bowl team. Okay. So in 93, I believe it is, we took second, and Bob Greenfield shot like 750 or 760 for our team event. Wow. So going back into 94, we said, okay, we got to do one better. Mm-hmm. And back then you bowled second shift. So they didn't re-oil for your shift. So you had to bowl what the other people in front of you bowled on.
Yeah.
And you get one shadow ball on each lane. So back then I threw an ultimate weapon on one lane and I left the 4-pin, and I threw my Teal Rhino Pro on the other lane and I left the 2-pin. So I went to Mike Strani and, I was going to grab the ultimate weapon just because I could, okay, just move in. And Mike Strani goes, No, use the teal because the shot will come, they'll break down. And thank you, Mike. That was a good choice. I shot 805 for us, and we shot 3305 during that. One of the memories is Hank Poznansky. He came up to me in like the second or third frame of the second game and said, Steve, I got nothing. And I go, Hank, I'm kind of lined up. Throw at the head pin and make your spare.
Yeah.
And he gutted it out for 604, 605 or something like that. But I don't think he had an open for the rest of it.
Wow.
So, I mean, it was a lot of that teamwork stuff and then just learning off of those guys and the chemistry, and Greeny and Hank and Stranny. They all just keep you laughing. And on the other pair was another team was Mark Dempsey, whose birthday is actually this Friday. Happy birthday, Mark. But he was on the other lane, and the first game I had the front 9 and I left the 2-pin. I spared it and then struck. So I had 279. Well, I started out the second game, strike, and then I left the 10-pin. And I spared it. And after every shot, I would always come back, routine is I'd come back and I'd go back to the water jug that they had at the time.
Mm-hmm.
I'd fill it up with water and I'd take a drink. Well, Mark Dempsey met me at the water cooler, and I said something that I can't repeat on the show. And he goes, what? And I go, I just left the 10-pin. He goes, make it. And he looks up and he goes, you strike out, you can beat your last game. I was like, oh yeah, that's true. So I struck out for 280. And then, like I said, the rest of everybody else, I enjoyed bowling with those guys, and still to this day.
Yeah. So I talked with Greeny about that set. He brought it up when we were talking. He said, you guys had a grand total of about 3301. You had about 205 plus pins of that. He said to this day, it is the greatest series he's ever seen when you factor in that moment. And Greeny's seen a few series.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, is that, you did it. Looking back, can you look back and say, wow, that's my greatest series? Or I can't believe I did that? Or what's the memory there?
It's kind of like the Petersen. It doesn't sink in. It's I'm just a guy that throws the ball down the lane. I mean, everybody knows that some days you have it and everything falls your way.
Yeah.
In some days you will hit the pocket twice, 3 times, 4 times as many as anybody else and hope your spare game is on and you don't strike because you just have to make your spares.
Yeah.
It's a funky game. You can be throwing the ball great and not score. And so there's always something in it. And going back to it, I think it was when I was younger, I used to hook the ball a lot, low to the line and just really just snag it. And that shot played, it was deep. I think I started first game at 18 or 19 and I ended up at between probably close to the 5th arrow. So, I mean, it was in my comfort zone at that time.
Yeah.
And everybody says, oh man, you bowled great. It's like, it's almost like an out of body experience. Like, okay, that person went ahead and did it.
Mm-hmm.
And now what? That was me. So yeah, it's cool to hear your friends and competitors say stuff like that.
Yeah. And Harley said, hell yeah, you did.
There you go, Harley.
Yeah. We don't all, start out bowling for a great loaded Blue Mound Bowl team or, shooting 800s. I mean, we all have to start somewhere. Where was it for you? How'd you first get into this crazy game?
My dad was a bowler.
Okay.
My dad introduced me to it, and knowing my body frame, okay, 5'9", 195 pounds, okay. I'm not playing basketball. I'm not playing football. Okay. I'm not wrestling. Any body frame can bowl.
Mm-hmm.
So my dad started me when I was 9 years old. And by the time I was 16, I was averaging 200 in junior league. And so I went into men's league, and, I was averaging like 205, and I was throwing my bleeder yellow dot, like right up second arrow.
Yeah.
And actually I had a PBA application all filled out. As soon as I was turning 18, I'm going on tour. Well, my dad, the best coaching lesson I was ever given was by my dad. He goes, let's go up and bowl. Let's go open bowling. So we go up there and we bowl the first game.
Where was this, by the way?
It was in, I grew up in Jackson, so we bowled at Wylands Lanes. It's now Kingpin in West Bend.
Okay.
Yeah, I used to paint the curb parking lot things just so I can get free practice. Jim Hankey bowled my first bowling ball.
Oh, okay.
So we went up to Wylands at the time, and I think I beat him 230 to 210. Okay. My dad shot a 300 game in 1975 with an Amflight 3 dot. Wow. So he could bowl.
Yeah.
And so I beat him, and I go, you want to go again? He goes, no. And I'm like, what? Because you can't beat me? And he goes, no, how about this? Let's try something once. And this is where the lesson started. He goes, go outside in first arrow and throw there until you get a double. No crossovers. So 10, 15 shots, I get a double. I'm like, yeah. He goes, okay, go to third arrow. 20, 25 shots later, I finally, and you got to remember, this is a bleeder yellow dot.
Yeah.
And he goes, okay, fourth arrow. Dad, the ball's not going to hook from there. And he goes, do it until you get it. So, I mean, I'm dripping sweat. I don't know how many shots it took me. I finally got a double.
Okay.
And I go, what was that all about? I can beat you at second arrow. Mm-hmm. And he goes, wherever you go, the shot's not always going to be second arrow.
Yeah.
I went home, ripped up the PBA application. I'm like, no.
Wow.
So that was, and then I bowled in college for UW Milwaukee.
Okay.
One experience there was I got to, it was a fundraising type of event. I got to bowl doubles with Earl Anthony.
Wow.
Yeah, he was my idol at the time. And then I just started bowling leagues, and then wanted to get into red carpet all-stars, where you have your Jace Petersen, your Brian Brazeaus, and all, John Magnas and Gus's. I got in that league, and then, like I said, I started working, and then Greeny asked me to be on his team. So we did that. And then a couple of years down the road, Lynn's Limited asked me to be on the team with Gus, Dale, Gary Darashevsky. It was in Lenny Borsch, who was my doubles partner. And every time we went to nationals, if I could beat Lenny Borsch, we had a chance to win.
Oh, sure.
I don't know how many times I beat him, if I did. There was one year that we were in second place with 2 weeks to go, and then we got beat. So we took a second.
Okay.
But it was always a pleasure bowling with Lenny and all of those guys. They taught me, just being around them, shot making under pressure.
Oh, yeah.
Dale Traber, we always used to nickname him Ice, because he would be an anchor bowler. And if you needed a strike or a shot in the 10th frame, or when you needed one, he was there.
Mm-hmm.
And Lenny, all of those guys were such clutch players that it kind of made me think about it. And actually growing up, I going through leagues and all that, I didn't have a 300 game until I think 92 or something. But I had the front 6, front 7 and everything else. And I finally went up to Gus and said, Gus, I get the front 6, 7, 8, whatever it is, but I can't shoot 300. He goes, treat each shot like it's the first frame.
Yep.
And I was like, okay. And then that helped a lot.
You had a few after that, didn't you?
Yeah, and it's just like any other time.
Yeah.
At the Petersen, it's not like I need a 3-bagger to take over the lead.
Mm-hmm.
I need a strike here.
Yep.
So you can't think, oh, what score can I get? So a lot of times when I bowl, I don't look at the score. Somebody will remind me, or I'll figure it out that I'm in the 10th frame, and then so I try not to think about that, because then you look up and, everybody's like, oh, what can I shoot? What can I shoot?
Yeah.
And then you put your pressure on yourself. So.
Yeah. But apparently you make up for lost time in that regard, because Terry McKinney told me that you're a little like Andy Mills, that you can recall an entire series of bowling or tournament frame by frame. He says it's pretty impressive.
If you ask me on certain things, I can kind of tell you what ball, what hand position, what, that type of stuff. It sinks in.
Yeah.
After the fact.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I probably bored him with too many stories about that when I bowled with Terry.
No, and he told me about the team that you guys take to senior state these days. Wow.
Yeah.
That is a team.
And my doubles partner is Scott Helm.
Yeah.
And Scott Helm has won just about everything. And I can't give him enough for us to win. That is one of my goals coming up.
Yeah. All 4 of you guys are, wow. I mean,
yeah, it's fun to bowl with those guys as well, because
incredible.
I think we all respect each other enough as talented players that it's not like, oh, hey, do this or do that or do this. We got to guide each other. We just let everybody go, and we just enjoy the moment and the team camaraderie, just joking around.
Yeah. You have that confidence in yourselves and each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's got to be a great feeling. You were talking, hey, my frame doesn't lend it to the other sports. I'm going to do bowling. Greeny said, look, he's shot baskets with you. He's played softball with you. He said every sport that he's seen you do, you're one of those gifted guys who's got great hand-eye coordination. And then on top of it, for the bowling part, you're a student of the game. You've learned equipment. You've got a ton of experience in really, really pressure-packed situations. We all know that guy that, is just kind of good at everything he does, right? Are you that guy?
I've been called that guy. Great hand-eye coordination is key in everything that Greeny does. I like to play Papa Shot. At the fair, win a stuffed animal. More or less not for the stuffed animal, just to see if I could do it. Play darts. I'm coordinated enough that some of the things, I did play softball just because I played baseball when I was younger in high school, but I never could take it beyond that because I wasn't one of the starters. I mean, I was accurate pitching. They had me pitch batting practice, but how many batting practice pitchers go pro? Right. So I went to softball just because, okay, a bunch of guys around here, I live in Sussex, Craig Miller and that, they had a softball team. So they asked me to play. I'm like, okay. I showed up there early, 30 minutes to warm up and everything else. Nobody was there. They showed up 5 minutes beforehand, put their shoes on, went out. I'm like, what about practice? They all looked at me like, what was that, Allen Iverson? That's practice? Practice? Yeah. So I found out the whole idea is you get there, you play softball, and then you go back to the sponsor, which at that time was Sussex Bull. So have a burger and a beer afterwards.
Okay. So it's a fun thing.
Yeah.
But I'll take Greeny's word, though. Good at softball. good at shooting baskets. How good are you at drawing straws?
Straws?
Yeah, because Greeny tells me he remembers going to a national tournament
Oh.
that he thinks was at Corpus Christi. Now,
No.
I need to apologize to Mark Van Echtern, and I don't know him personally. As I ask you to tell us what happened when you guys decided to go out onto the beach on that trip.
We all, because it was very, very, we're all from white-skinned Wisconsin, and we're down in Corpus Christi on the beach. And we're all rooming together, and so we decided to go out on the beach, and, okay, you put suntan lotion on. Mm-hmm. What part of your body can you not put suntan lotion? Your back.
The part you can't reach.
Correct. So the one thing about Mark Van Echtern is he's a very hairy individual. He's gifted with a lot of body hair. So we drew straws on who could put lotion on Mark's back.
Let me help you set the scene here. Greeny says there was nothing but hair on his back. He's like one of the hairiest humans alive.
Yes. I draw the short straw, so I have to put lotion on his back. And if you want to know how that felt, it was like spreading butter on your front lawn. It was that bad. I mean, it was like mousse. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was.
Oh my gosh. And what is his reaction to the fact that you guys are drawing straws for that privilege?
Well, because nobody wanted to do it. He took his t-shirt off and he looked like he was wearing a wool sweater. He wasn't going to get burnt because how's it going to get through his hair? Do you ever get a burn on top of your head where you have hair? No. But yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Leave that one to Greeny. That was Greeny was my roommate, so that was a lot of fun when I was traveling with those guys.
I said, "What do you remember about Steve off the lanes?" And he comes at me with that. Wow. Yeah. Doug D says, congratulations on the Petersen, Stephen, but I may have found my doppelganger. Unfortunately, I can't bowl that well.
Well, you're good looking, Doug.
And Harley says, never play any bar games with him for money. Foosball, Papa Shot, darts. He's so good.
Well, okay. I told you I shoot basketball.
Yep.
When I was in high school, I bought a foosball table because that was a cool thing to do, is go to roller skating rinks and play foosball when you're supposed to slow skate with some girl and you're too shy to do it.
Yep.
So we'd play foosball. Mm-hmm. And I have a pool table and a dartboard in my basement. Okay. So I got to practice with that. Yeah. So, but I mean, I can't say I win all the time. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah. Nobody can,
Yeah.
But yeah, if you're getting the reps, then you get good. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I'm still buttering your front lawn.
You went visual on that, didn't you?
Oh, I did. Despite that, Greeny also was the guy who got to call you in 2019 when you found out that you were going into the Wisconsin USBC Hall of Fame. What was that like to hear it from him? What did he say to you? How did he put it?
I don't remember the exact call about it. I do remember the ceremony for it. But it was, I think he kind of prefaced it that most likely, Steve, you're going to get in type of thing. So it didn't come as a shock when he called me, but I do remember, I think, thanking him or him thanking himself for getting me involved. Like I said, I just bowled in leagues and stuff like that. And then he pulled me onto the team and kind of showed me what competitive bowling was all about. So he kind of pulled me in to it. And I mean, to be honest, I don't know if I would have accomplished what I have in my career if it wasn't for that conversation or for us working together and him knowing that. So for him to call me, because I think he was my sponsor or he nominated me to be in it. So that was pretty cool. The thing that I do remember about it is my dad was at that event. So I told everybody that, the people at table, my son, my daughter, and a couple friends came up for that. I bought their hotel rooms and I said, everything's fine. Everything else. My dad was excited about it. And when I get home, I get this letter in the mail from him. And it was inside of it. It was $200 because he wouldn't let me pay for his hotel room. And then he wrote this long letter because my mom passed a couple years earlier than that. He wrote me this letter about how proud my mom would be and how proud he is. And he actually thanked me for inviting him up to celebrate this. I'm like, Dad, you got me into this.
Yeah.
I mean, when we started at Hadler's, he would have to get there a half an hour to 45 minutes early because there was one ball, it was a house ball that fit me just right. And I wrote down the serial number of that bowling ball and I had to go through every bowling ball to find that one.
Yeah.
So, and then he would take me and my mom would take me up to juniors and everything else. So, I mean, of course my dad's going to be at that because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be involved in this.
Yeah.
So,
Wow.
yeah. And like I said, and Greeny, he got me into all of this. And then Hank Poznansky, to this day, every time I see him, we still talk about it. I'm actually the president of the Milwaukee Hall of Fame for the next 2 years.
Oh.
And Hank is on my presidential committee.
Oh.
And we had a meeting and part of it came up about, earning points for the Hall of Fame as a team person versus individual. And he goes, why do you keep picking on me? Why do you keep picking on me? I shot 605 for our team event. I helped. So it was more of joking around type of thing. But yeah, it's just the camaraderie and the friends.
Yeah. Boy, the parallels that I never knew about. Hadler Lanes, that's the first place I started bowling. UW
Really?
Milwaukee, that's where I bowled college. That's, I learn a lot of stuff on this show, even though I think I'm producing the whole thing. Yeah. And Will, said, listen, from sharing the lanes together and time off the lanes, he is just one of the most sincere, kind, and funny guys. You've bowled with a lot of different teams, and Will, threw some pictures of teams at me. You're bowling with guys like Will, guys like Duty, guys like Hank and Greeny and Dale and Lenny. I mean, do you ever just, kind of think to yourself, my goodness, how did I get to the point where these super teams are, I'm involved in these super teams with guys who are, certainly the best in Milwaukee, if not the state, and they're always my teammates.
Yeah, throughout my career, I've been very fortunate with not only the people we've mentioned and you've pictured. I've also bowled with Dave Barris, Chad Moss. I also bowled league with Chris Petersen. And if you're talking about some players that are shot makers, Chad Moss just recently won the PBA regional at Foxview for his first regional win ever. And I think he led it from game one. Just watching some of these guys bowl is just, you look at it. And when like I told you, after 4 games at the Petersen, I was ahead of Dave Barris. That is like, cool. You did well, just to say that you're beating some of those guys. And then I get, I go to Craig Miller Pro Shop for the Next Level Pro Shop, and Craig treats me great. And all of these people, I think we're all competitive, yet we're friends. For how many people how many hundreds of people congratulated me on winning the Petersen, but then the very next weekend I got engaged, and it was the same amount of people and some of the same people that were congratulating me. And I might go out tomorrow and bowl against them in league, and it's still high five, or like I said, you're competing against people and they're high fiving you when you strike, they're congratulating when you're done. And it's the same thing. It's not a one person sport. It's everybody together. Yeah. And it is a privilege to bowl with a lot of these guys. And we'll be at the Hall of Fame banquet, and we're going to award Kloss and Welch and their team for their Eagle. Yeah. They've been knocking on the door so many times, and finally it happened. It's great to see the success around this. One of the interviews that I got was by Jeff Riggles. He said something, and on one of his posts, he said, "Congratulations. That was one tournament I've always wanted to win, was the Petersen, but I never have." And also, you think about it, and Riggles is in every Hall of Fame you can think of. Yeah. And for him to say, "Nice accomplishment, I didn't do that," you're like, wow, something. Yeah. At that point, it starts to, I guess, sink in, if you want to call it that. I don't know if it ever does. It's just kind of, wow, maybe next year when like I said, when I see my picture up there, or whenever you go to nationals and they announce you as a champion, you're like, it gives you that little bit more calmness and confidence when you need one in a pressure situation, because you have the experience of being there. And maybe the team that you're with at that time, if it's a team event or something, they have the confidence that you're going to do it. Yeah. So all of these comments are just, wow. I got the goosebumps, when you read some of these things off. It's great to hear some of the comments of the bowlers. And I think the same of them. There's a 1-ball tournament at Lucky Lanes every year. Mm-hmm. The first year I bowled in it, I won it. And every time after that, since I'm old, I've been going out to the senior shootout and the super senior shootout. So it's always held on one of those weekends that I'm gone. So I haven't bowled since then. And Will can correct me, but I think he's made the top 4 finals every year. Yeah. And just because of the talent that he has to adjust and keep it in play and make spares and adjust. Yeah. Just some of the bowlers around, just to be part of them and to compete against them. It's cool. Cool. It is. There's the community of bowlers it's nice. I bowl at Sussex Bowl. So Cassie and Stefan, they treat me great. They do a lot for the sport, whether it's at their bowling centers or H5G. Yeah. No, so they're great. Let's put it this way. I'm not disappointed that I'm not 6'10" basketball player or 315-pound football player. Would I have more money? Maybe if I was a pro at that. I'm not a pro here, but I like to dip my toes into, the regionals and stuff like that. I said I was going to keep bowling until I physically cannot do it anymore. One is to compete, because you always have that competitive fire, but the other part is just the socialization. Yeah, just to see your friends out on the lanes, to joke around with them. Mm-hmm. You might get done, and how'd you bowl? I don't know. Mm-hmm. Because it was the time spent with your friends. Or you don't bowl that well, and something really special happens. And I know you talked about this with me
ahead of my show with Gus, and I know you said you didn't watch these all that much in the back episode, so I did clip this up. I don't know if you saw it before, but I wanted to play it back so you could react to it. Listen.
When I turned and I saw Stephanie's face, that cute little face on that kid, I melted. It was like, who cares? We just lost in the step finals, but I mean, it didn't bother me. I just looked at her and I was like, my God, here's somebody that has no clue what just happened, but she wants, to give me a hug or wants me to hold her. And I'll tell you what, that moment right there was, just it made my heart ache. I mean, it was nice. It was so cool.
Did you get to see that when it happened, or is this the first time you're seeing it?
I got to see that,
Okay.
and I even know that. I'm not going to tell you where I was playing, what ball I was throwing. I don't know that, but it was. I believe it was in. I think it was in Reno, or we ended up losing.
Mm-hmm.
And okay, Gus was always the first bowler on the team. He was the cheerleader. I always bowled second. I learned very quick to, when Gus comes off, if he strikes, to put up my left hand, because he would smack it so hard that when I first started doing it, I got to a point I had to take all the tape out of my hand of my bowling ball because my hand swelled up. So I always had to use my left hand.
Yeah.
And my daughter, I think she was probably 4, 5 years old at the time.
Yeah, he thought 3 or 4.
Yeah. She just took to Gus. I don't know, because it was his joking camaraderie, everything about it. But we just got done. Gus is walking off, holding bowling balls, and he's about to slam them into his bag. He might have been upset because we lost. And there was my daughter standing in front of him with her arms like this. And he just goes, and he softly put the balls down and he picked her up. And it was, he just squeezed her. And I do think he shed a tear. I think I did as well. And it was just like, wow. And it made it, okay, you're only as good as your last time out. And the next time could be your day.
Yeah.
So there was more important stuff than if you won or lost, that I always try to hold myself, that if I bowl and I bowl bad, I give myself 15 minutes afterwards to do whatever I got to do to get out, overanalyze what happened, what could I have done, what I this, and I try to 15 minutes after that. It's like, okay, hey, how you doing? And try shutting it off. It took me a while to get to that, but there's going to be another time that you're going to bowl. The sun comes up in the east, goes down in the west. Your family still loves you. Kids will still call you. It's how good or how bad you bowl is only in your mind. When you bowl really well, people be high-fiving you, but you bowl really bad, they're not like talking behind your back. It's all up here. I think the best bowler is a decapitated bowler because you don't think about anything.
Right.
You take your mind out of play, and that's the main thing that you got to try doing. And hopefully humor does it with my one-liners. Most of them I've gotten from Gus, but
yeah. Wow. No, that's good stuff. And that was one of my favorite moments, certainly of that show, if not the whole run. But she can throw a bowling ball now too, can't she?
Yeah. Last 2 times out, she beat me, and everybody keeps going. So how many times do you beat her now? So they always talk about the torch has been handed over.
Mm-hmm.
So I think just this last night, she didn't bowl that well. Okay, she didn't bowl that well for her. I think she still shot 680 or something like that.
Okay.
The week before that, she shot 760.
Whew.
Yeah. Oh, no, she went, she shot a low 700 because she went 230, 230, 250. And she said the last game she had the front 8.
Oh, wow.
So now she's bowling against some of the big dogs. She's on that Wednesday night classic leg in the Falls that Craig Miller runs.
Okay.
So it'll be a learning experience for her.
Mm-hmm.
She normally calls me after league to talk to me about how she bowled this or that, or about equipment or something like that. So yeah. And now there's Terry Coolibert always runs up north, over 40, under 40 tournament.
Yeah. It's coming up.
Yep. I bowl that with my daughter.
Oh, cool.
She told me, Dad, if we ever win this, I retire. She said she's going to quit bowling.
Wow.
Yeah. So it's a lot of fun getting to bowl with her. She bowls on Thursday nights with me at Sussex Bowl.
Okay.
So, and usually beats me, but that's okay.
That's all right. Yeah. Cool. Well, she's got a good teacher, so that always helps. I know we're going a little long here, so I've got another video to play out. Take a look at this.
Let's go off the sheet. Challenge a bowler to appear on a future episode.
I would like to challenge Will Madison.
I would say Diana Zavulova.
The Better Russo, Lauren Russo.
We're looking for anyone who has a passion for the sport and a unique story to tell.
So we talked about this before we went on. Doesn't have to be a particular skill level, but just someone who's really interested in the sport to the point where they're, passionate about bowling. I know you know some people like that. So, Steve Brinkman, who would you like to challenge to come on a future episode of Bowling with the Fef?
Wow, a lot of names go through my head.
Yeah. And people challenge more than one, so don't think you have to limit it to one.
I'm going to go with Stefan Hanen.
Okay.
He just posted last night. He had his first series. He's trying two-handed.
I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah, and he just posted that series, and I'm like, if I do two-handed, you better have 9-1 dialed on the phone, because you're going to have to dial that last digit and pick me up off the lane.
Yep.
So
put me in that category too.
Yeah. To watch some of these younger kids do it, and some of the older guys are doing it.
Okay.
It just kind of look at them like, okay. I guess I would. I can hook the whole lane if I want to. It's just that my ball speed is 12 miles an hour versus theirs at 18 or 19.
Yeah. And Stefan certainly has the tools, with the thumb in, let alone, if he's able to, do it two-handed or even both. I've always thought that's kind of the perfect beast, right? To be able to switch back and forth. And
yeah. Is there any rules against, if you start one-handed, you have to finish one-handed, or can you go to two-handed?
I think in USBC, probably, if not the PBA Tour, as long as you have different bowling balls, because you can't have the thumb hole.
Right.
If you're throwing with no thumb, I think that's okay, provided you're using the same dominant hand. If you switch dominant hands, that could get a little...
Yeah, that's average stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah. But
I was just interesting because I saw a couple people do that in a league that I was in, and I was like, oh, yeah, I suppose if it doesn't have a thumb hole, you can throw it two-handed. It's just you can throw it one-handed if you don't have a thumb. So what's the matter? What's the difference?
Yeah. Yeah. No, you're right, though. It's either you can or you can't. And if you can't, you find out quick. I certainly did. And no, that's really cool that he gave that a try. So, Stefan, if you're willing, I'd love to have you on. I did interview him after they got the strings in at Waukesha. A bunch of us went down there and bowled on him. And that was fun. But yeah, Stefan, if you want to come on, let me know. You can email me at bowlingwiththefef@yahoo.com. Find me on Facebook. I'm not hard to find. I know he's friends with Trey, and Trey's from up here, so
If he says no,
okay.
Do I get a second choice?
You can. Hey, off the sheet is 3 strikes. You could have more than
whoa.
This is the Steve Brinkman show. I didn't just make you co-host in name only.
Hank Posnanski Jr. then.
Okay. Yeah. And Hank is another one who I've interviewed before, but it was a long time ago. It was early in the run, and I know he's done some things since then. And actually got to meet him in person finally. I had never met him before.
Really?
And went down to Fond du Lac to a Hall of Fame ceremony where Mike Wurz got in. And
okay.
Hank was there and got to, shake hands with him and talk with him and Greeny. And so, yeah, I absolutely have Hank on. Yeah,
both of those guys are great friends of mine. Hank and I have a bunch of stories, whether it's bowling, on the lanes, off the lanes. We golf together at times. Yeah.
All right. Well, those are two great suggestions. And guys, I'm up for it. Hope you are too. Let's see you on here. So next week we're going back live on Monday. And as luck would have it, it's somebody that I hadn't had anybody from the Milwaukee area on in a long time. And I'm, glad that I had the opportunity to not only have you on, but on Monday, we get to hear from Shannon Lubinsky, who is about to hold the Junior Hall of Fame tournament on Sunday, November 5th in a new location, Sussex Bowl. She has done an incredible job with that event, but she's also put together an incredible run as a competitor, which landed her in the Wisconsin State USBC Hall of Fame. Again, that show coming up Monday, September 22nd, 7 p.m. Central. And that event, the Junior Hall of Fame tournament, started in 2007. And I think the winner of that first event might be somebody familiar to both of us. Would be.
And that event, okay, here's a one-liner.
Yeah,
it's not my own, but in that event, I was bowling with the Michaelfelder sisters. Okay, Aaron and Amy, and we did well the whole day, staying clean, making our spares, and we get in the finals, and we're going against Dwight Albrecht, Emily, I forgot her last name, and my daughter.
Oh,
yes.
Okay.
So I'm on one team, my daughter's on the other team. She can win scholarship money. Her dad can help two girls, daughters of friends of mine, Steve and Laura, I've known for years, get scholarship money. So it was going along, and it back and forth. It came down to 10th frame. Dwight needed a double to win, and he didn't get it. So we ended up winning. And I went up to my daughter and slapped and said, "Who's your daddy?"
And how'd she like that?
She didn't, but it's kind of an ongoing thing now. If that time that I do get the beater in league, I might pull that out, and it's flashbacks to her. So, but
wow,
yeah.
I'd say use that one sparingly, but I'm glad you.
Yeah,
I'm glad you came out with the win there. But yeah, we will certainly talk about Junior Hall of Fame tournaments past and upcoming.
And Shannon, actually, when I was the general manager of Olympic Lanes, when I started there, we had 3, 4, maybe 5 junior bowlers. Okay. And being the general manager of it and trying to run a junior program, I brought in Shannon Lubinsky because we bowled doubles at times in the past. I brought her on because she her interest in juniors. Yeah. So she helped me start that program. Well, more or less took over the program. And in 4 years, when I left that program, we had 60 junior bowlers in that program. Wow. And it's all on her. Just the way she ran the program and reacted with the kids. You see the success of the Junior Hall of Fame tournament. I mean, when she started running that, the Hall of Fame people would come in. They can't win anything. Yeah. It was just spending your day bowling with juniors. And she had I'm sorry, I'm full. I have too many type of thing, just because we're like this is so cool. Mm-hmm. So it's a fabulous event. Look forward to it every year. So and now that it's at Sussex Bowl this year, it's not too far away from me.
There you go.
Yeah, great event. And she's a great person. Her husband, Steven, I have card games sometimes in wintertime, and he always comes over. So very fun.
No, great people. Really glad to get her on finally and kind of chop it up. But Steve, it's been a pleasure. Thank you so much. Congratulations on the Petersen win.
Thank you.
Keep on trucking. Like
thank
you said,
you for
until you can
having me on.
Yeah,
that's awesome. And for all the comments, wow. Thank you.
It's good stuff. You're right. This bowling thing's kind of cool because of all the people you meet. It's
absolutely
neat. Yeah. Well, hey, everybody, thanks for joining in. Certainly appreciate it, whether on live or on replay. We will see you again on Monday night.
Thank you for watching Bowling with the Fef. Pound the like button and subscribe button. It's the easiest way to support the channel, and it's free. Bowling with the Fef is brought to you by Chip Magnet. Raise your snack standards.
Jerry's Score More Bowling Supply inside Wagner's Lane. So Eau Claire, Wisconsin area's leader in bowling products and services since 1988. And Visionary Video Hub. Video with impact.
Email bowlingwiththefef@yahoo.com with questions or to appear on the show. You can also reach out on your favorite social media platform.